What's going on, guys? Uncle Snaggy here, and time to review week 2 of the NRL finals, and we say goodbye to two teams, the North Queensland Cowboys and the Manly Seagulls. Two teams I was riding pretty hard throughout the year. I personally think both teams coulda, shoulda, probably made that next round. I thought they were good enough. Thought they had the team to. I mean, Cowboys, most state of origin players out of any team in the NRL. Manly had a lot going for them as well and looked really promising throughout the year. But as it all plays out, like it normally does, the top 4 teams are in the semi-final. Both teams 80 minutes away from a grand final, guys. How good, and shout out to both those two teams. I thought they were both the better teams on the night. But let's go through them. Let us know if you hit anything on the punt, guys. Let us know how you went in your tips. We got our first finals game wrong in 2 years. Which was this first games here. But we actually, if you watch my preview video, you'll see I actually had Sharks initially and I flip-flopped it. Never flip-flop, guys. Always go with your initial thoughts. I listened to the Beak from, I think he was actually on the buy round, and he made a really good case. And it wasn't a really good case. I should have listened to myself. I flip-flopped, I listened to the Beak and got it wrong. So, hey, lesson learned. Don't listen to the Beak, listen to the Snag's gut. Snag's gut will always get you home. We went 2 for 2 on our double ups this weekend, guys, so we are pretty much perfect. We're 2 points shy, so one leg last week away from being perfect in these finals, guys. If you do want to follow me, guys, follow me on Dabble. I just started putting a ton of NFL punts up as well, guys, and NBA is just around the corner too. So after the NRL, after the Pacific Championship, it's going to be just straight NFL and NBA shorts. I'm not going to do long videos on it. I don't know enough about those two games to do long videos on. I'm not sitting there watching 9 NFL games on a Saturday and 11 NBA games on a Tuesday. I only catch the big games, so I will do my shorts. So I've got a pretty cool tool, so I've got a mate that helps me out a bit with the NFL punt, and it's been pretty good so far. We're only hitting about 50%, but start of the year we're using last year's data for this year's punts. So by about round 5, this is week 3. I reckon we're going to be pretty good. I reckon we're going to be pretty damn good on the punt. So make sure you shoot us a follow over there, guys, and shoot us a follow here on YouTube as well. I will keep posting them on YouTube as best I can, and also my Discord. I'll leave the link for in there as well. Posting in there a lot. Loving the Discord, man. Loving the bros. Shout out to everyone that's jumped in the Discord. I love chatting with you guys, man. It's absolutely awesome. I love seeing you guys punts in there. Really good active community. Best rugby league community out. I'm telling you, it really is. Love the boys. All right, so Sharkies get it done against the Cowboys 26-18, and Roosters get it done against the Seagulls 40-16. Let's duck into these games real quick, and then we'll do a really light preview of next week's games, but we'll obviously do our full proper 1 once team lists are released, guys. But let's get into these. So 4 tries to 3. Let's just talk about it first. So I actually thought the Sharks looked a little clunky early. Hines got caught on the 5th. There was a time where someone played the ball in their own end, and Hines picked it up from dummy half, looked around, and there was no one there to pass it to. And I was sitting there going, I think I made the right call here. I really did. But if you watch my preview and my TikTok videos leading up to it, I said I actually like the Sharks team better 1 through 17. I really do like it. But I trusted the spine of the Cowboys to get it done. It's a much better spine. But the 1 through 17 got it done for the Sharkies. I really felt like they ran harder, slapped harder in defence. The effort plays were there. And even though I thought Nicho Hines had to be the man to step up, Trindle played like $1 million man. He really did. I thought Trindle was absolutely enormous in this game. I genuinely do think if Nicho Hines and Trindle swap paychecks this year, we wouldn't even be talking about the Sharkies being, all this and that. I think Trindle has been playing damn near like $1 million player. He was absolutely enormous in this game. He's just a footy player. He's just a footy player, man. I tell you who he reminds me a bit of. He's nowhere near his level yet. He reminds me a bit of Jimmy Maloney. Jimmy Maloney was not touted. He wasn't, he was let go from so many clubs after having winning records. He just got footy. He just understood footy, and there was a play where he put a kick up, and it was an okay kick. He was probably just outside the right-hand post. He's kicked it to the right. Ball's gone up. and he's just thought, he just sprinted around to the left-hand side, had no idea what was going to happen, how that was going to bounce, what if, was it Ramian or whoever ended up grabbing the ball would see him on his right-hand side to flick it out to him. But he put it up, saw the space, ran around, Ramian's flicked it out there, he scored a try like a winger in the corner. I just went, what a play. 99.99% of players would put that kick up and watch and see what happened and wouldn't be criticised for it. But he didn't. He chased it around, filled space. And that's what good footy players do. That people go, man, it just seems like he gets lucky and the ball bounced. No, bro, he put himself in that position just in case. And it was incredible, man. I love Trindle. Like I said, he's not on Maloney's level yet, but he just seems like a Maloney type of player. Doesn't look like he has an athletic bone in his body, but just gets footy. He just gets footy, and he's been absolutely brilliant for them. He was so good in this. I dare say Sharkies do not win this if he's not there. Now, I sort of stand by what I said a little bit, even though it was wrong. I don't feel like Sharkies' spine was that good, and other than Trindle, Bradley was all right too. But I just felt like everything else was good enough to get the job done, which is what Sharkies have sort of lacked this year. I said this last week, and I had a lot of people message me and said, fuck, you bang on with that. Sharkies can blow you off the park. Sharkies are a really awesome team, but they really struggle to sort of build pressure on you, and they sort of blow you off the park, or they'll blow you off the park early and you can come back against them. That's why our punt hit in this one, guys, because we had Sharkies score in the first half, we have Cows to score in the second half. I was pretty confident Sharkies would come out and do what they wanted to do at the start, and then they would struggle to build pressure, and Cowboys would come over the top of them. They didn't come over the top of them enough, but they did win the second half there. And yeah, that's pretty just much what happened. I mean, if we have a look at these team stats here, will really back me up. They should have won this much more convincingly than they did. 58% of the ball to 42, that's a lot. 44 sets to 33 sets, so 8 more sets. Okay, so 5 more completed, but in the total, they had a lot more sets. They ran for a lot more metres. Post-contact, plenty more. All this effort stuff, more line breaks, more tackle breaks, more kick return metres. They did lose the ruck a little bit. More offloads. Like, they really had the rubbing of the green in this one. Yet they won by 8, what's that, 8 points? 8 points. Cowboys really did have were running downhill at the second part of the game. And, it was just... That was sort of my opinion. Like, Cowboys were not amazing in this game. Look, effective tackle, like 52 missed tackles, same as Sharkies, not great, 42, like 44. Like, Cows sort of were pretty damn flat in this. They weren't great. Another reason why I flip-flopped my thing, Cows, I had a feeling they wouldn't be great because they were away from home, but I went and checked the away record this year, and it was actually pretty good. So I'm like, maybe that won't be an issue this year. But they did look like the old Cowboys where they just sort of didn't stand up on their away turf sort of thing. So, yeah, it was... I was impressed with the Sharkies' effort. Like, I thought they played like a finals game, slapping, running hard, doing all that good stuff, but I still wasn't overly impressed with the spine. With these numbers, these top numbers anyway, your spine should really get you home, and you probably should have won this a little bit more comfortably than you did, and at least not... Like, there was a feeling that Cowboys could come home in that last second half. It was just, felt went down, a few other things sort of went their way, but I don't want to take anything away from the Sharkies. They were awesome, but the criticisms and the things I was worried about were in this game, even though they won. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how they go in their next game, but she's going to be a tough one. She's going to be a tough one against the Penny Panthers. Let's have a little look-see at some of these meters here, at some of these stats here, guys. Katoa, Sifa came off the bench, that's right, I was about to say. He only made 48 metres in the centres. I thought Jesse Ramian too didn't quite look 100%, even though he had a pretty damn awesome game. Oh no, sorry, it was Katoa that didn't look 100%. My bad, I always get those confused. I thought Katoa looked a little hampered. I'm not too sure why, but 178 metres wouldn't call that a bad game. But I had Katoa as a try scorer. He bloody got over too. That's the multi that failed. I had a try scorer multi down. The only bet that didn't hit on the weekend, and bloody Katoa fumbled the ball over the line. I was spewing. Would have been on an absolute heater with the try scorers. Mulatalo was really good. I thought he was awesome. 3 line breaks, 179 metres, 3 tackle breaks. I thought Toby Rudolph's first stint was top shelf, best I've seen. It was like he was slapping, running so hard, 160 metres off 15 runs. That's over 10 metres a carry. That's great. That's great. We'll get to the next game where we were streaming it, and who was it? Lindsay Collins had, I think, 11 carries for 30 metres. He was getting absolutely full. So if you work it out, like 15 carries by, 160 metres, that's over 10 metres a carry. That's so damn good, man. Absolutely good. I thought Nakora, Wilton, and McInnes were all pretty damn solid as well. Yeah, like I said, I just thought like their players, I thought everyone just played awesome, just that spine. They really lacked that killer spine sort of thing. But let's have a look at these missed tackles first as well, just because they've got to look at Penrith, because the few things that the Cowboys gave the Sharkies, you'd imagine Penrith won't. All right, so 3 missed tackles from Will Kennedy, 3 from Katoa, 2 from Oro. I actually thought Oro was pretty good. 3 from Trindle, 4 from Nico Hines, 2 from Rudolph, 6 from Brayley through the middle. It's getting up there. 4 from Nakora, 3 from Teague Wilton, 2 if you miss this many tackles against Penrith, they're putting 40 on you. Royce Hunt, 4 missed tackles. Tackles made, 1 missed tackle. He was barely on, wasn't he? That's right. I thought that was 4 missed tackles, but he had 4 tackles, 1 missed, 1 ineffective. Tom Hazelton was pretty damn good, to be fair. But yeah, look, they're good. I'd give it a pass mark. I thought it was a good finals game. But now we're talking about using the semi-finals and how you're going to go. I don't think it's good enough. I really don't. It was, against the Penrith Panthers, that could get ugly really fast. All right, so let's have a little looky at the Cowboys here. Drinky, 160. I thought Drinky was actually really good. 1 line break assist. Val Holmes, 156. Tuolungi, actually, I thought, I've been critical of him being a bit lazy lately, and I thought he was all right. All right, on to the Cowboys missed tackles, guys. Look at this. There is not a single player other than Harrison Edwards that missed a tackle. And did he get minutes? Yeah, he got some minutes. Not many, though. 17 tackles. That's solid. That's actually pretty damn good. But, yeah, it's pretty... Dearden, 9 missed tackles. He was trying his absolute ring off, but he did fall off a few tackles in this, which I was pretty shocked. None of them were bad missed tackles, I don't believe, from memory, but... That's pretty. Jason Taumalolo, 5. Reece Robson, 5. Reece Robson always misses a few just because he's a bit like Mitch Kenny. He comes out and tries to slap. But yeah, not quite good enough there from the Cowboys. And look, we were watching this game, and I feel like this is why people go, who's your favourite fullback, or who do you think's the best fullbacks? I think we go through eras of the way the game's played, and right now I think the best fullbacks are the effort fullbacks. The Teddies, the Edwards, even Turbo to an extent. He's got a bit of everything, but I really do feel like those guys are a little better than the pretty fullbacks as far as the team dynamic goes. Just because Reece Robson made 3, maybe 4. I don't know if they were all clean line breaks or classified as a clean line break, but I'm telling you now, if Reece Robson did that at Penrith, or if Reece Robson did that at the Roosters, or Reece Robson did that at Manly, it would have been 3 tries. If he did that at Parramatta, I think there would have been 3 or 4 tries, because who would have been right on the hip? Clint Gutherson, James Tedesco, Dylan Edwards, Turbo. Those guys would have been there. He was sort of poking his nose through. No one there. And like I said, because I've sort of mentioned this a few times throughout the year, I feel like Drinkwater is a bit more of a half than a fullback. He plays much more like a half, like an extra half than a fullback. So when Reece Robson did spot that space down the middle of the ruck, he went through and no one was there. There was one where someone did back up. I think it might have been Dearden on his outside. But unfortunately, this one was sort of Robson's fault. He looked inside before he looked outside. But to me, if I ever make a break, it's just natural. You look inside before you look outside. So can't really blame him for that one, even though technically if he looked right before he looked left, he probably would have found Dearden on his outside. But Reece Robson wasn't the reason they lost this. Reece Robson was the shining light in this game. So I don't know. It's hard. I've sort of said this before. Yeah, I don't know. I love Drinkwater. He's literally one of my favourite players to watch. But I feel like he's more of a half. And I feel like the 2022, 2023, 2024, and more than likely 2025, those hard effort backing up fullbacks that can ball play a bit. I think it's the effort first, ball play second, rather than ball play first, effort second. It's not like all of them do everything. Like people will be like I'm trying to say that Drinky doesn't have play with effort. He's just lazy and inserts himself if he wants to. I'm not saying that, but it is more ball play first. Those effort things second. Where you look at the Gutho can ball play, but it's all effort, and then ball plays if needed. So same as Dylan Edwards, same as even Turbo. Like Turbo's effort first, and then he'll throw a double cutout ball and hit his winger, but it's effort first. So but they're gonna have to work on that from the Cowboys. Just for next year too. Their four pack's awesome. It's just really hard. McLean and Taumalolo. I mean, I really think they would have loved, who just went to the Tigers. Royce Hunt, just a big body that can just really get you going forward. I mean, McKaylee was doing it a little bit. I thought he was actually pretty good. I was surprised he didn't get a huge amount of game time this year. But, yeah, I feel like that may be just a big barnstorm in front row away as well. But, yeah, look, pretty solid season from the Cowboys. There's a lot of teams that would have rather been in their position than their position that their club was in. So, shout out to the Cowboys. Nothing wrong with coming 5th or 6th. All right, let's move on to the Seagulls versus the Roosters. Look, Roosters blew them off early. It was 20. That's right. The Seagulls got a try at the end of the half, but Roosters really came out and blitzed them. We pretty much called this game down to a T. We pretty much called this exactly how it was going to go. Roosters out early, Manly to win. Well, did they win the second? No, they actually lost the second half, but to score points in the second half, which obviously we hit our punt with. I think like Seagulls, I don't think they thought the Bulldogs game was going to be quite as hard as it was. It was tough, and I really do feel like it zapped them. Short turnaround. When I say short, it was 6 days. It wasn't a 5-day turnaround, but 6 days after a hard, gritty final against the Bulldogs there. All that emotion of a sudden death game. And then you go, then you got to play a team that, even though you've beaten them twice this year, it took... sorry. Did they beat them twice? No, they beat them once, lost twice. Lost just, and I think they beat them pretty handily the first time, but correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like... Yeah, they definitely weren't as good as they were in those previous 2 games, even their loss. I thought that Manly were pretty damn good in those 2 games, and they definitely looked a little off in general. I just think that they played their grand final last week. Doggies really took it out of them. Doggies took a piece of the Seagulls in this one, and we did say that, and it just was pretty evident. They looked okay, but they definitely didn't look as good as they had against the Roosters in the previous 2 matchups this year. So clearly they were a bit zapped. And Roosters... My general thoughts on the Roosters were I thought they were good, but I like I said, I do feel like Manly were hampered a little bit, so I'm not running home to the bank either going Roosters are going to beat Melbourne. Even though they put 40 points on in a finals game, I wasn't super blown away. I was just like Manly, and we'll get to the stats and we'll sort of show why in a minute. Manly weren't great, and Roosters did have a lot of the ball. Just being straight up, that should have been the scoreline. Like that 40-16, that should have been the score. Anything less than that, you'd sort of be going, oh, Roosters are not very... That was pretty poor. I feel like the way the team that showed up to play them, especially with how bad the game started for Manly, 2 KOs in the first 2 minutes, really messed with their interchanges and all that sort of stuff and their game plans. Think about that. All your game plans you run throughout the week, all your plays you run, and 15 seconds in, you're 2 players down. That'll throw you off. I know they got 1 back, but still. So yeah, I think that should have been the scoreline. I'll give it a pass mark for the Roosters. I thought they were really good, but again, I think they're going to have to be better if they're going to beat the Melbourne Storm. That's going to be a tough game. I thought they looked way better through the middle with Jared, Lindsay, and I actually liked Victor Radley through the middle. And I was spewing. I was live on Kick watching this game, and I was looking for a try scorer that was paying nice. That was, just not a winger, or a centre or a second rower. I was like, give me someone who's got a good chance here. And Victor, I was like, Victor. Now I was like, nah, don't do it, bro. Just enjoy the game, enjoy your double up, and then Victor just steams through. I think it was the first try of the game. Damn, it was too. But yeah, I liked him there. But having said that, just straight up, this is what I was sort of talking about, where things did go Roosters' way a little bit. Do you know who would have been standing there if he didn't get knocked out? Was Jake Trbojevic. Would have been right there when Victor Radley ran that. And I don't think he just runs through Jake Trbojevic like that. So, like I said, a few little things went Roosters' way, but having said that, I don't take anything away from them. They were the better team. They got it done. They deserve to be in the finals. I think they've been incredible all year. They've lost 2 of their best players, 2 of their spine members, and they're still in the semi-final. So, shout out to the Roosters. They were great. Manly, look, shout out to them too. I thought they were pretty good. Like, I thought they had a really good year. I got laughed at when I put Roosters in my top 8 this year, and I actually had them as Smokey's top 4, and they were damn close. Like, they were a game out of the top 4, half a game, because they had the thing right, or maybe a game and a half, whatever. And there was a couple games they probably should have won, and they did lose Turbo for 5 games, 6 games as well. So you'd imagine if Turbo was there for those 5 games, they would have won a game with 2 extras. So I'm cool. I thought that was a pretty good call from Manly. I got laughed at for putting Seagulls in the top 8. But yeah, look, let's look at these numbers. Manly 64%. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it should have been 40-16. Anything less you would have been 56% possession, full 6 minutes extra with the ball in your hands. 1,700 metres to 1,300, 545 to 443, 8 line breaks to 2, 32 tackle breaks to 19. Damn. I did feel like Seagulls did win the ruck quite heavily in the second half, especially there was time, like, Manly slapped. Like, there was individual, like, Olakau'atu slapped in this game. Paseka slapped in this game. There were guys, like, that were really... Nathan Brown slapped in this game. It was the team as a whole just felt like a little deflated. And these offloads really did hurt Seagulls as well. They'd have this crazy line speed, slap, awesome, offload, retreat. They've made another 8 metres. You've had to make a second effort for one tackle, all that sort of stuff. It really did catch up with them. So great game plan from the Roosters there to offload there. And yeah, look, 90%. Look, this is great. 19 missed tackles. Roosters should be really happy with that. Really happy. And 32 missed tackles isn't horrendous either. So if you can get that under 30, you're good. So to be only a couple over, not too bad at all. Plenty of ineffectives there, though, that tells me they're probably pretty tired. 14 errors, 6 from the Roosters. That's great. I mean, Roosters have been error machines the last few years, so they've really tidied that up, which is good. So, yeah, let's have a little look at some of these player stats, and then we'll... James Tedesco is everywhere in this. 226 metres, 42 post contact, 2 line breaks, 3 line break assists, 2 try assists, 3 tackle breaks. They might have just got himself an Aussie jersey. Seriously. I thought Tupou was good. They played a lot more left than right. A lot of people had Dom Young to score, which he ended up doing, but it did not look likely. Yeah, like I sort of said, guys, as soon as Angus Crichton started killing it, they just started playing left more because they started playing through him. Hit him. They compressed their defensive line because he's killing them. They space out the back. At the start of the year, it was all Dom Young, and it completely switched over to Daniel Tupou in the second half of the season. Yeah, like I said, Lindsay Collins ended up with 21 carries for 62 metres. He was getting folded in this game. Yeah, but like someone said in our on our kick chat, like, he's not really that rampage in front row. He's that effort guy. He's that tackle guy. He shows up. He makes a cover tackle on an outside back or something. You know, someone chips and Lindsay Collins is there for some reason. He's that guy. He's not really your Spencer Lenu or your Payne Haas there. He's more of that sort of guy. But awesome effort. Thought Crichton was good, but very well handled from Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans put him on the deck, like, you know those tackles where they're just on the deck like that? It was pretty impressive. I was damn impressed with Cherry Evans. And yeah, we'll have a quick look at the Seagulls here. Let's have a look how Turbo sort of fared. 207 metres. He looked better than he did last week, like as far as being hampered, but I still didn't feel like it was 100% Turbo, but also maybe it was just the Roosters being awesome. So, What else we got here? Luke Brooks, I thought, tried his little ring off. Paseka was okay. 8 carries, not enough, but they're great carries. 91 metres. Matt Lodge, 9 carries. Yeah, they just didn't. Like I said, what I say about the Manly Sea Eagles when they beat their Bulldogs, like blew the Bulldogs away that time. Paseka had 20. Like I just said, these guys are legit. Like get them, they've got to get a lot of ball. Like I think the more carries, Paseka's one of those guys. He must be a confidence guy. Like when he starts getting on top of someone, he just keeps going and going and going. But when he can have these games, and this is why he's never been regarded. He has the same. He literally has the same physique, athleticism as and everything as Payne Haas. But the thing is, Payne Haas does it week in, week out. Paseka will just have games like this where like those 8 carries for 90 metres is awesome, but it's not enough. Like it's not enough. Like average carry distance, that's Payne Haas, but Payne Haas does 18. You know, so that's why Payne Haas has 180 metres. So I feel like sometimes Seagulls can try and get a little cute and fancy when they should just go through the middle. Like but anyway, it was pretty solid. And yeah, Manly, I mean, they would have obviously loved to go a step further, but it wasn't a bad season for them. They can be pretty damn happy. All right, let's move on to next week, guys. Let's have just a real good look at this, a really quick look at this, guys. We got Friday night, Melbourne Storm versus Sydney Roosters. Drop your previews, drop your early predictions in the comments there, guys. We got first versus third, and look at these odds: $1.30 to $3.60. That's nuts, man. That is absolutely nuts. And then we have the Penrith Panthers versus the Sharkies on Saturday. Penrith Panthers and Melbourne Storm fully rested. Sharkies game's probably a little harder than the Roosters game, but still, it's going to be tough, guys. It really is. I said everything's been brewing, been heading towards this grand final. Storm versus the Panthers. Pretty much since Sam Walker went down, it became a 2-horse race. But I mean, look, stranger things have happened. I genuinely think everyone's put these two teams on top of the pedestal and then had a huge gap to everyone else. Not everyone's been saying that, but I think a lot of people sort of had that. I think Penrith and Melbourne are both beatable. I just think they're going to win. If that makes sense. That's my early predictions. Like Penrith Panthers, for me, if you actually watch them in 2022, 2021, they were so close to unbeatable. 22-23 Panthers were so close to unbeatable, it wasn't funny. They dropped a few games because you can't be perfect for over 3 seasons. You can't be perfect for 75 games or nearly 80, 90 games. Like you're going to drop some games, but they dropped like 6. Like, you know, it's going to happen. But to me, Penrith do look beatable. They just look like the best team. Penrith, and I feel the same way about the Storm. Like they look beatable, but they are still. They've been the better team than Penrith technically. We're more consistently better than Penrith this year. So it's all shaping up for that grand final, and I'm sort of stoked if that does happen because I have money on them both to win the comp. So if they both make the grand final, I'll make free money. So I'm not mad at that. But look, stranger things have happened, guys. Who knows? We could end up with the Roosters Sharkies grand final. That would be something crazy. Someone actually mentioned that yesterday at a footy carnival I was at. It was who was it? It was Cowboys and Tigers, who both underdogs in the semis, and they both went through. It was Cowboys and Tigers. Yeah, that was when we met Benji Marshall, I believe. But yeah, so crazy, guys. Like I said, early predictions is Storm and Panthers go through, but we'll wait till the team list come out. We'll do our predictions. We'll go through all our punts for this one, our double ups, our try scorers, all that good stuff, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've made it this far, you're an absolute legend, and I'll see you on the next one.